Well, guys, thanks for joining me. If you checked out the last video, we basically talked about Marvel's Avengers is not the game to buy right now. I believe I went into detail of how, for whatever reason, this game failed to be that game that we all expected it to be. And before the player base drops, which I believe a drop's going to happen, before that drops, I would like to get this video out because I believe maybe other YouTube content creators can get on it and continue the conversation of a game that we really have high hopes for, a game that we were hyped for, a game that we somewhat had some enjoyment of, and let's make the game better. First off, I want to say there are artists that worked really hard on putting this game together. And I know me saying that, some of you guys are like, come on, seriously. No, I honestly mean that. We don't understand the full business that is gaming. It's the gaming industry is almost like a secret industry. It's not in the limelight for whatever reason, the same way. I'll just go with the Marvel movies. The Marvel movies, you know what's coming out ahead of time, who's working on it, and there's somewhat of a level of accountability. There is some secretive things when it comes to certain shots that are being done and characters and wow factors, and trailers and things of that nature. But we know what it is going into the movie industry, whether it's Star Wars or Superman movies from the DC universe. Point blank, the gaming industry is different from the movie one. I have no idea why it's so different, but I just want to make sure that we understand that the developers of all levels doing everything from as simple as the trees to the grass to sound effects and concept arts, all that stuff is a difficult job. I sure as heck don't know how to do it. So let's make sure that whatever feedback we're giving any one of our favorite games, we're giving that with the ability to be constructive and something they can use, not just saying something negative towards these people who live a life just like the rest of us. With that being said, there are some people above them, companies that are running this game. I believe, if I'm correct, Crystal Dynamics is a studio that brought it. I think Square Onyx is behind them, and they're the ones who are writing the check. I could be wrong, but I believe Crystal Dynamics has been in the game for over 25 years. I do remember playing some of their titles in the 90s, but nothing as of late, because I believe they did a lot of their more recent Tomb Raider games. And once I looked that up, I realized maybe that's kind of where our mistake was in this game. And I'm not saying that the Crystal Dynamics team in any way cannot bounce back from this, but it is evident that this live service game, a game meaning that it's supposed to come out, and then through a significant of time, new contents comes in. New modes, downloadable contents, things of that nature come into play. Some of it is free, some of it you pay. And you know it off the jump. A game I can think of off the top of my head, Rainbow Six, I believe they do theirs for 10 years before they come up with a new type of Rainbow Six. The Division, in the same kind of universe. The Division is another one like that. World of Warcraft, I believe. Destiny, Warframe, the list goes on. But what seems like, as of late, and one of the biggest ones, I believe, is Anthem out of the EA house, Wheelhouse, I think, is it seems like live service games mean games that are not finished for whatever reason, or they're not to the level that they should be. And what I say should be is we're sold this game as a AAA game, meaning that you're forking over a full $60 for the game. It's not a $10 game that you're paying, whether it's a microtransactions in it or not. And in that as well, basically you're expecting bugs at the beginning, bugs and glitches, exploits that you can do, and then at some point there's going to be a certain patch, and you're like, man, remember that patch? This patch number blah blah blah. That's when that game got awesome. That's when I got my friends on it, and they came back, or whatever the case is. So, with that being said, and that long intro, I would like to get into the 4 areas I think we can go ahead and address to make this game better. Okay, the first area that we're going to go into is the microtransactions. Now, I just want to say from the beginning, I'm picking this up as a hobby. This is one of the games that kind of made me say, hey, look, I need to put my voice out there, because I hope that this helps make this game better, or other games that I play. And I hope the quality is where it is, and I hope I'm articulating myself the right way where you guys are getting what I'm saying. And if you agree or you have any ideas, it'd be great for you to put in the comments. So microtransactions. Now, we were told very early on in this game, and this game had amazing hype because, again, you're looking at decades worth of Marvel movies and television shows and things of that nature, anything in between. And so we were hyped for this game because we've always had that feeling of leaving the theater or reading a comic book and saying we want to do it in the game. And we just never got that for so long, for whatever the reason is. There were games like, I believe, Marvel Alliance. You had Marvel Future Fight that's on mobile, and those games kind of touched it, but nothing really as big as what this game was leading us up for. And we were told early on that the downloadable characters that would be coming out later, and the raids and the storylines that would be enhanced and things of that nature would be 100% free. So we knew there was going to be a level of microtransactions. And then as the beta neared by, the conversation kind of was reassuring because they were like, hey, listen, the microtransactions you're getting in the game are going to be not play to win, and you don't necessarily have to buy any item to enjoy this game. You can get it later on with RNG. And as the beta came out, the conversation kind of switched back and forth between, I believe, content creators and people online and people like myself. Well, we're just confused. We looked at certain things that were in the beta and we're like, hey, wait, does that mean we're going to have to pay for this? And this is the cost of this and things of that nature. So eventually when the game launched and they showed us what the pay wheel was, a lot of people are like, I'm not paying for that. Like, the jump of this is ridiculous for it. But we're like, okay, fine. The underlining rule that I try to go by, I could be wrong where it came from, but I think an architect says something like form follows function. Simply put, in my opinion, if we like the game, we're going to spend money on it. It happens with pre-orders. It happens with us buying it. It happens with us buying it from the like not the pre, but the bin that might have that $5 game in it, and the pre-order was like $80 plus, but you pick that up because you still have a liking or a curiosity for that game. That's going to happen regardless. And if we enjoy the game, never mind the fact that if it's set up, some games are set up to be somewhat addictive, you know, Candy Crush, Farmville, but we'll spend money if we like it. So I had no problem with spending money on this game other than buying the game if I liked whatever they were trying to give me microtransaction. Now, looking at the microtransactions that we have in this game, it seems very, I don't want to say rushed. I'm confused. I don't know what to say it is, but it's not a enjoyable part of this game. It's something that looks like it shouldn't be in the game. It looks like something that's, because of the superheroes you have, it's that money grab. You know, like that character that you've been waiting to play with, and so your idea is like, well, screw it, I'll just buy whatever skins, whatever goes with that character, because I just really love that character. And they're using that part in their favor, regardless of how this microtransactions are set up. So when you look at the microtransactions, if you look at the store, it looks like some of the same items are 2 or 3 different type of items, but they're just multiple colors. So I'll give you an example. You look at someone like Iron Man. Iron Man, I believe, and I could be wrong, it's 3 Iron Man suits. And those 3 suits are just changed in a different color. Never mind that some people are changing the date on their systems to be able to see stuff before they're able to see it. But just the fact that you're grinding in this game, or maybe spending your money for this game, and then you're trying to spend extra money on your favorite Iron Man piece, only to realize it's slightly different than the one you unlocked for free, or that the one you paid for, then you unlocked another one for free, and you realize how similar, like the colors are just a little off. And I believe as of right now, there's no official skins for any character that would be similar to the movie, where a lot of people are hoping that this was connected to the movie, in that light. The other thing I noticed was the pricing on the items, and I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but I believe the pricing on the items are $12. Did I read that wrong? Like $12 to buy a Black Widow skin that makes it look like she's ready for winter versus some espionage type looking thing. How does that make any sense for the consumer? Now, if you put skins that looked like from the movie, okay, I can see someone jumping on that. If you put skins from television shows, if you put skins that went with, you'll see like they'll have the comic books and the banners that you can collect, then I could see that working. You would match it with the avatar that you're using with your name or whatnot, or taking an outfit or skin from like a favorite comic book that you already have, and you're like, it just adds to that fandom. But that's not the issue. I don't know why that's not lowered, in my opinion, to entice more people to make the purchase. And the other part about it is you wouldn't feel so bad to do it, because in your head you're like, hey, listen, it's only $3, right? Like Clash of Clans does something where it's like $5 for the whole month. And then if you, let's say you never log in, you forget all about it. Okay, that's fine. It was only $5, right? That's what you're saying in your head. But I mean, let's be honest. A lot of people did the $5, so it works out big on the developing part, or at least the company part. So I would say lower that. The vendors. I think you have vendors in the Helicraft or Helicarrier, and you have it at the Ant Farm. I'm trying to think if there are any more vendors. I believe those are only 2 vendors, unless I'm wrong somewhere else. Those are only 2 vendors other than the marketplace. But the vendors are the ones that sell gear. And a lot of times I believe the gear is set up for whatever characters that you have on your roster and what their power ranking is. So for instance, let's say you got the power level 50, but your power on your weapon, I like to call it the gear score, is 130, then you're going to have 130 or so for the parts. It's not lower than that. If they would make it where the vendors were more impactful, where you check the rotation of a vendor opening shop every Thursday, and you knew that you had to look at this item, grab this item, because it's going to fall off rotation in a week, and it's the piece that you need because it's something that you really can't find when you're doing the RNG run. I think that would make the vendors more impactful. Now, with it being more impactful, another thing you could do is, I mean, let's just call a zebra, and allow people to boost their characters. I mean, I don't see it as a play to win, because I don't see any winning in this game. It's not PvP versus anybody else. There are people who've already platinumed this game. There's people like me that beat the game within the first day. There are people who have all their characters maxed out, and then you got countless other characters that are coming down the line, hopefully. Why not allow someone to spend some money to level up their character? Especially if you have an audience that might be casual, or they have one favorite character, but they're kind of punished because they don't play with the other characters that their team is less than. Because let's admit it, the AI in this game isn't helping you through these missions. You're carrying the team on your back. So, like I said, with microtransactions, I'm not worried about microtransactions. It's just something that's a part of gaming, whether it's mobile and anything past that. You know, it is what it is, but make it mean something, so that when you have the community saying what is wrong with your transactions here, the conversation changes to, hey, you know, I don't agree with microtransactions, but $3 for a skin, that's fine. And a skin of a famous part of the movie from, the first or second Iron Man, wow, that was great. or this is from the comic book that I collected last week, so I'm able to match this with it. Like, I think it goes a long way to make those microtransactions mean something, and also letting players boost their team. Meaning, hey, look, I don't have time to do Hulk. Just give an example. I'm not gonna run the Hulk missions. Can I pay? And I could be the problem by saying this, but I honestly feel like a lot of people would be fine with it. There's other games that allow you to do a boost on your player, and you might grumble about it, but then you end up doing it yourself, or you get the gist of it. But it's like, can I pay $3 to boost Hulk to level 50 power, and then I'll grind out the gear? Can I boost him for another, I don't know, $10 to max him out at 130 and 50 for power level? Because I want to play with my friends online, or I want the experience to be better. I want my quality of life to be better. So I would say those are the things I can think of microtransactions. If you have anything else for microtransactions, put it in the comments.